Put down the pictures of my kids and wife. I'm having bad hair. I need it cut. That's what the woolly hats are about. Liam Walsall's always watching. Just more on this Syrian child situation at this school in Huddersfield. So, we've seen the world's media portrayal of one incident at this school. An incident where a young boy, and it didn't look good, received no visible injuries to himself. I've since that moment been sent pictures of young white English children, girls and boys, who haven't been attacked or had an altercation or had a physical confrontation one-on-one. But we have one girl who was violently beaten by a gang of Muslim girls, including this Syrian boy. That's according to all of the conversations I've had with the family of that child. Now, of course, just like this young boy who grabbed the kid by the throat, everyone threatens to rape, murder, kill, and destroy this family. Of course, the young girl's mum is, of course, she's scared. There's been threats to blow this kid's house up. There's gangs of Muslims now outside the school. They've been outside the boy's house for 2 days. But the reality and the truth and the facts, from what I can understand from the pictures I'm receiving, is that one girl with very visible injuries, in which the police were involved, the Muslim girls jumped her, Jamal was involved, then they got taken to court, and then straight after court they jumped her again. They're still in the school, they haven't been expelled from the school. Then I've been sent another mother at the same school, has sent me an image of her 13-year-old son who was beaten by a gang of 5. Not one man grabbing his neck, not one boy the same age grabbing his neck. 5 young Muslims who kicked the living shit out of her 13-year-old white English son. Did that make the news? Were they arrested? Was there a GoFundMe page set up? Was the whole nation made to feel guilty? So out of this one school, then I've had another father who is messaging me now with proof of his contact with the school. His daughter went to the school. The young Muslim children in there were putting ISIS insignia on their school bags. He reported it to the school. He was told by the head teacher, do not fight the system. So it seems there are a lot of problems in that school. Now you have to look at it from the young 16-year-old boy's version, yeah? This happened 6 weeks ago. Why has it now been elevated, right now? It happened 6 weeks ago. This was done and dusted, this Syrian boy, this happened 6 weeks ago. Now, according to the young boy, and according to a young girl who had to be taken out of that school and homeschooled because their family were too scared of the Muslims in the school who were beating them up. This is all... No one's hearing any of this. Why not? Why not when I've actually got copies? I've got copies of emails to the Huddersfield Examiner asking from the parents of the girl that was beaten up. I've got copies of the email back and forth saying, why won't you report this racist gang attack against our daughter? Why won't you report it? Their reply says, because your daughter's 13, it will make the situation worse for her. Okay, but you're quick to fucking run off and report to the world about a young boy getting gripped by his throat. All I said, which I said yesterday because the Sun are running a big headline about it. According to this young girl's family, Jamal isn't a victim. He was involved in the violent attack against their daughter. And then, according to the young boy who grabbed him by his throat, who obviously went up and said, what are you saying now, I believe? So something's been said before that point. Both boys are in the same year at school. Both boys are the same age. There was no booting, kicking, punching. He gripped him by his throat. He's now living in complete fear and the whole country has turned on him without understanding any of what's gone on prior. Imagine being in that school. You have lots of Muslim gangs beating up lots of young English kids, not one-on-one, but gangs, booting the hell out of them. And then you decide to make a stand against this kid and you go up and grab him. And then what happens? The whole world turns against you. The whole world turns against you. Without even knowing the fair... In fact, it was one kid versus one kid. It wasn't nice to watch. No one should resort to violence on anybody. But we do have a young girl that's been beaten black and blue. We have another boy at the same school, which I've just put this picture up of him on my Facebook. You can see it. Share it. He's been beaten black and blue. His mum is scared. All of these parents are scared. The first thing they're all saying is, we're scared. Why are they scared? Look at the response to this young 16-year-old kid that grabbed another kid by the throat. The whole country, the whole of Pakistan is threatening to rape and murder his family. Of course they're scared. They're getting attacked left, right and centre. Anyway. So Bailey, when the truth has come out, there's one little young Syrian kid who was involved in a gang attack, apparently, according to the family, of which I have all the evidence. They might be saying no now because you're all threatening to rape them and murder them. They might be scared now. In fact, they weren't scared now. They were scared before. They were scared even when they're talking to me. Every one of these parents that's talking to me is terrified of the response of violence by the Muslim gangs in that school and in that area. Right now, we have lots of bearded Muslim men outside the school. It's a school. They're children. Why are you outside the school with your big beard? What are you doing outside the school? It's kids. Well, anyone who went to school, I'll tell you when I went to school, one altercation and the Muslim men were outside the school. The men, not children, men. In fact, my school had to be shut down for 3 days. They closed the school for 3 days because the men were coming to the school to attack. So I'm sorry, but anyone who doesn't understand what goes on in these schools, or doesn't understand the level of violence, or doesn't understand the fact that there isn't a one-on-one fight, Bailey went up and it looked like he tried to have a one-on-one altercation with a kid. That's unheard of when you reverse the roles. Unheard of. That's why there's pictures of 2 young kids, black and blue, beaten not by 1, not by 2, but by 3, 4 and 5 young Muslims in the same school. Report on that. Why don't the mainstream media go and interview those mums? Why don't you go, any mainstream media watching this, contact me. I've got the mum talking to me right now, showing me details of her son's injuries, telling me the school done nothing, the head teacher done nothing, no one done nothing. No one expelled these young Muslim gangs for battering him. Yes, of course, Bailey was expelled. Of course he was. Of course he was. The victim Syrian. Of course he was. Anyway, enough of that.